going to be kicked out of the offensive zone for the Regretzkys. Little toss up mid-ice, collected by number 28, Pate, as Regretzkys pick it up. Quickly pushed out of their offensive zone. Belleville for the boys. Shoot. Lane tries to block it off. Does so.
First save there made by Jay Blair in the net for the Regretzkys. A little bit of pressure early on by the boys. Some interesting play there indeed. Just players of note to pay attention to in this one, Vicky Prosick and Kelly Nelson from the Melbourne Ducks, who played this weekend. They may still be a little bit tired from two pretty vigorous games they played on the weekend against the Melbourne Ice.
Naven Cabell taking the face-off there. Shot by the boys. Didn't make it through the net. Trying to find a little slot pass there. Bodies in front. Here comes Vilbar for Regretzkys. Little dish there. Trying to find an option. Ball down there by number 34 Callahan. And the boys pick up the puck. Little chip off the boards. Regretzkys managed to pick it up, but it's a tough battle. Battling along the boards. Blair circling outside, trying to find something. Battle there. Still toss up. The boys managed to pick it up and take it behind the net. Nelson for the Regretzkys. Take it up the ice. Hurst is there to try and pick it up. Doesn't manage to. Instead picked up by Kane. Dish off. Kane managed to pick it up for the boys. Chopped swiftly there by Nav. There's going to be a change on both sides. Hurst off the ice. Called for offside.
And the boys are going to be in a little bit of trouble this evening. They've only got 2 on the bench, so they will be, or maybe 3 by the look of it, but it's going to mean they will get pretty tired throughout the game. If the Regretzkys can keep the tempo up high, it will put a lot of pressure on the boys, in particular in the third, when fatigue will really start to bite.
Belleville wins it for the boys as Henry tries to get off the ice.
Lucky there not to get pinged for too many players on the ice. I think the referee's being a little bit generous. They'll probably appreciate that a little bit later. It's going to be a big day indeed for Luke Kane, who just comes on the ice for the boys. He's improved an awful lot in his hockey over the last couple of seasons.
Belleville managed to win the face-off. It's a battle out in front. Kudasov, quick pass. Tries to get it down centre ice. Manages to do so. That's Hawthorne. Quick pass to Bone. Bone's got one in front of him. Little deagle dangle. Can he find the shot? Lovely rejection there by Law.
Jamie Law in the net this evening for the Les Boys. Their normal goaltender, none other than Anton Goss. He's who knows where tonight, but not available. So Jamie Law will be between the pipes for Les Boys. At the other end for the Regretzkys, Jay Blair.
And it's Henry and Bone trying to take the face off. One picked up by Blair for the Regretzkys. Doesn't manage to get it though. Picked up instead by Cartier. Dish off there to McComb. Trying to find an option. Does so along the boards. It's a free puck, but it's going to go straight into the hands of Blair. Instead, ice called.
They'll be brought back for the first icing of the game. Recreational League rules here don't enforce the no change on the icing, so in this particular case, the Les Boys could get a change, but with that short bench they have, it's not much. They're only getting 1 player on and off, although the bench is filling up now. They've got 4, which will make their lives a little bit easier. Much better when you have a full 5, at least you get 1 change in its entirety.
Battle for the face-off. The boys managed to get a breakout here, though. Skating 3-on-2. Just a quick dump into the ice. Blair picks it up for the Regretzkys. Can they do something with it? Along the boards. Picked up by Canahan. Instead, a battle for mid-ice. Regretzkys find a player down. It's 1-on-1. Can they get the shot off? Lovely rejection there by Law.
And that was a beautiful play there. Breakaway set up there by Kelly Nelson, one of the Melbourne Ducks players. She got behind, slipped the defensive work of the Les Boys and created a lovely 1-on-1 breakaway. Great scoring opportunity.
Nelson and Henry taking the face off. Belleville, beg your pardon. Picked up by Regretzkys. Trying to find something along the blue line. Instead, find a few Les Boys pucks. And picked up again by Regretzkys. Managed to keeping it in their offensive zone. Instead, chipped out instead.
Nelson couldn't quite hold on to that. It was just stolen from her there. Quite nicely by Belleville, who just reached up high. Nelson, again, probably wearing a bit of fatigue from the 2 games on the weekend. But she would have been recovered from that now. She was outstanding for the Ducks, scored a number of goals. See if she can get some this evening.
Belleville, Bone, taking it off. Regretzkys managed to keep it in their offensive zone. Can't really get a shot off though. Regretzkys pick it up behind the net. Picked up by Big Rick. Down there behind the boards. Regretzkys really battling to keep it in their zone. Instead picked up by Belleville. Belleville, a little breakout here. 2-on-1. Kelbell's behind there. Shots there. Scores!
And that whole play there was set up by a bit unfortunate time on a pinch. It was Dale Philander who just got caught a little bit high, and that set up the breakaway by the boys, who pounced on it very quickly, and Belleville got away, and eventually finished off by the effervescent Kelbell, who finished it off and got the puck past Jay Blair. First blood to the boys.
The boys find it. Regretzkys managed to pick up the puck, however. It's going to be called icing. Offside.
Just trapped there briefly. He was trying to make some movement through, I think, Chris Hurst, but he just couldn't quite get his foot back on the right side of the blue line. And we will reset for the face-off.
Sevson, Bone. Battle there. Won by the Boys. Manages to take it out into the defensive zone. Trying to find that pass. Picked off there by Regretzkys. Little shot on. Making Law work for it. Picked up to Victory. Down the centre ice. Can they find a player? Don't. Instead, it's going to be a battle behind the boards. Law having to battle in front, but it's going to be caught.
It looks like one of our referees too, just to get more of a bit of a Ducks theme, might be Jelena Krakovic. I think he's the second referee on the ice at the moment. One of the import players playing for the Melbourne Ducks.
Sivrin and Bone taking the face-off. Won by Sivrin. The boys trying to find something here. It's just the Regretzkys are just too good on those boards. Can they find something in the slot there? Law having to work for it. It's a battle in the slot, and the boys managed to get it out. And it's going to be called for icing.
Puck cleared all the way down by the boys. They're under a lot of defensive pressure in the slot. A couple of shots on, forcing Law to have to make some kick saves and push the puck out. Couldn't do much with it. And in the end, under that sustained pressure, all the boys could do was dump the puck for an icing. So they're brought back now for a defensive zone face-off as the Regretzkys load up with centre ice taking the face-off, Kelly Nelson.
Nelson and Belleville. Won by the boys again. Trying to chase something here. Can they find something with a small bench? It's a battle down near corner ice. Can't really find it though. It's chipped down the other end. Out of their offensive zone, so there's going to be called for an offside if they manage to. But here Belleville manages to break out. Can he do something here? 1-2, no! Rejected by Blair. And it's going to be a battle down there. Can the boys, little slap shot there by Callahan. And chip down there. Good offensive pressure there by the boys. Really snapping back into this game. There's an option there for Belleville there. Conahan. But it's going to be rejected. Regretzkys coming through now. Little chip off there by Cartier. Regretzkys managed to recoup themselves. Instead, Kudasov manages to get through. He goes through one. He goes through another, gets the shot off. Can't get that third shot in, but does! Score! Nelson.
Showing the value of a loose player floating around in the slot. Another defensive error there by the Regretzkys, getting caught high. Just creating that extra player in the slot, and as a result, bounces around. They get a lucky bounce, and it is tucked away by the boys, who are now up to a 2-0 lead with 6 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first.
Sivrin a name on that puck drop. It's going to be Regretzkys picked up by Blair. Sivrin trying to find a little angle there. Frazier pressuring on the Regretzkys, having to pass it down behind the net. Really good forechecking pressure here by the boys. But it's going to be picked off again by the boys. Frazier picks it up. Behind D-to-D pass. Blair picks it up for the Regretzkys. Looks like they have here. Hurst battling for the puck. It's going to be chipped around the net. Carried around. Regretzkys managed to pick it up. Wasn't no one home. Here become the boys. Sivrin. Little deke there. Passes Victory, but Regretzkys managed to pick it up. Nave. Little poke check there again by Frazier. Manages to go behind Bone there. It's icing call.
And we have another icing. The puck just played from behind the red line. If you're not familiar with the rule of icing, if you play the puck from your half of the rink, so your side of the red line, and it crosses the goal line at the other end and no one touches it, it's brought back for an icing. So you have a face-off in your own defensive zone. There's a bit more nuance to that, but that'll do for an initial explanation. And so they're brought all the way back, the lay boys, to be forced to defend.
Sivrin and Bone. Sivrin's been out there for quite some time. Regretzkys. Mixos. Little saucer pass. Doesn't really go anywhere.
It's a nice shot through traffic. Was well screened there, was the goaltender, but you got a pad down.
Law having to work for it. It manages to score. Regretzkys.
Sustained pressure there now for the Regretzkys. He's not exactly sure who took the shot, but there was an initial save through with Jamie Law was forced to kick it out, but he couldn't control the rebound, bounces back up high, and just through persistence, that one, the Regretzkys managed to fire a nice shot onto the net. And we are 2-1 with 5 minutes to go in the first.
Bone and Beville, little battle there. Finds its way down mid-ice. Regretzkys managed to chip it in. That was Kutsov. Battle for the puck. Shipped off there by McCone. Little backwards pass by the boys. Regretzkys chip it back into their defensive zone. Picked up by the boys. Hits a skate of a Boy player. Regretzkys pick up and said, Kusov, a little wheel and deal. Can he find a player? Bone in there. Bone shoots. Law manages to back it up off the pipe. And it's going to be trying to clear it out. The boys managed to pick it up down the other end. Can they make something of this counter-attack? Pass it to 29, Cabell. Cabell tries to find the player. And it's swept up there. LeBoy actually managed to swap it away from their own net. Regretzkys battle in the corner.
Yeah, Cohan well positioned on that shot. Just couldn't quite finish the pass off to him. He was in good position.
And it's going to be chipped around behind the net. The boys pick it up, still in their offensive zone. Cleared out by Regretzky, but doesn't quite go the distance. Now a little chip shot. The boys have to go outside again. Trying to find an option, and does. And Conahan. Belleville's there. Little chip shot there. Blocked by Blair. Coming around the ice. Here come the Regretzkys. It's going to be 2-on-1 unless Belleville can get back. Little chip shot there. Doesn't find the pass. And the boys managed to find their way down the ice.
Prosek set that up with some great vision looking up ice. You saw Kelly was clear. And they created a great breakaway chance there, the Regretzkys.
Up the ice they go. The boys trying to pick it up. But it's forecheck there by the Regretzkys. It's going to be Prosek. Wheeling and dealing. It's got three bodies in front of them though. Can't really do much with it. Here comes Kane. It's a battle in the corner. Can they get the puck out? The boys managed to. Chip it all the way down the other end, but stopped just behind the blue line. It's going to be called for icing if any player tries to touch it. They don't. The boys wheeling and dealing. Carried in by McCone. Travel down the other end to find that stick of Blair. And a little off the pads there by Law.
Technically, that one does actually count as a shot. If the goalie wasn't in the way, it would have gone in. So that'll just tick the scoreboard over, but not in the way they'd like.
Battle for the boards. Simpson tries to battle Nave for the puck. Nave manages to chip it off. Can he make something of it? He's got a player coming down the centre ice. Just off the net there, sorry. As LeBoy's skating up. Manages again to be chipped off there by Victory. Can he do something? Just off a high glove. And the boys battling down. Manages to chip it out.
And that will go all the way down for an icing. Nave there had a great chance on the, Victory had a great chance there on the shot. Just tried to be a little bit too ambitious with trying to go top cheese, and as a result, no cheese at all. A great thing for a shooter to remember is that if you miss the net, the goalie looks good regardless. You've got to force the goalie to make a save. And I think he'd regret that one. He had a great chance. But there's been a couple of good opportunities so far. Some lovely play from Vicky Prosek earlier, finding Nelson on the burst. Some very effective moves from them too. Both teams getting caught high and giving away odd player rushes at the moment.
Kane and Cartier. Cartier manages to win it for the boys. He finds a stick of a Regretzky though. There's going to be a defensive player there. It's going to be Kane. Little low shot, tries to find number 43, Hurst, for Regretzkys. Little chop there, making Law work for it. LeBoy is trying to turn it around. How much steam do they have though? There's 4 players on Beville, and it's going to be turned around. Still in the offensive zone though. Beville picks it up, finds Colohan. Instead, flies over. He picked up by LeBoy. That's going to be number 71, Cadio. Chip down all the way.
Cadio just dumps the puck in. He's trying to look for a change, but he's not going to get it. The bench is just not full enough. They do have 5 on the bench now, though, the boys, and that will help.
Kudasov picks it up after a pass from Fernanda. Dishes it down to centre ice.
Just misread Bone. Bone was going the wrong way for that pass, unfortunately, but now he's got a chance. Goes into the corner.
Bone chips it off, finds Kudasov. Nothing comes of it, though, as they dish it off behind the net. Battle there. The boys really trying to battle. Kutsov falls on his bum as the boys skate it down to Beville. Just misses his stick though, finds Regretzkys instead. Little chip shot down center ice. Bone tries to go down it. Instead it's picked up by Colohan. Regretzkys managed to keep it in their offensive zone. Great work from Kutsov. Can he do something here? Little shot. Finds too many bodies however. Regretzkys still with the possession. The boys instead turn it over now. Regretzky wheeling and dealing, but finds too many Regretzky bodies. Really good defense there. Regretzkys dish it off down the boards.
Just 10 seconds now to go in the period. It's the last little chance now for the Boys to get another goal if they can, to take themselves up to another one. But with just 3 seconds to go, the Regretzkys will clear the puck out and they'll do the first. So at the end of the first period, we have a 2-1 lead. Les Boys over Regretzkys. Earlier it was all Les Boys, but with a very short bench to start off with, it was going to make a recovery for them, and their intensity dropped down quite a bit. Gable getting that first one from Belleville, and then one of the unregistered subs scored the second goal, which is why you're not seeing it showing up on the scoring system, but assisted by Cable again. So him with 2, and then Horvath got a lovely one to get the get the Regretzkys on the scoreboard. And a number of good opportunities for the Regretzkys. He's made a great play early on. Prosic combining very nicely indeed with Kelly Nelson. Made a couple of good chances early on, so good vision and seeing that those two do play together in the Melbourne Ducks. And also one of our referees too, a Ducks player. It's oh golly, I've just had a complete brain fade. It's Jelena Grukovic. I'll get there eventually. And she's refereeing for us tonight as well, and another Ducks player. But I don't think we'll see any collusion. It'll be a tough night for the Les Boys, but now that at least they've got a full bench, they've got 2 full lines, so that will certainly help them out a lot with keeping the intensity up. But we'll see if the Regretzkys can just cut down on their defensive errors. There's been a couple of times their D's been caught up on high pinches, and the Les Boys have been able to get past them and get through and create those 2 breakaway opportunities for those goals. If they can shut them down and take advantage of the pucks that they're getting into the slot, see if Nelson can bury a couple, and then this game will be absolutely on.
Nelson and Severin taking the face-off. Just waiting for players to get ready for this second period. And it's puck drop, won by Regretzkys. Nelson quick off the mark there. It's going to be picked up by Victory for the Regretzkys. Tries to find a source of pass. Doesn't, instead finds a stick of a LeBoy. It's going to be Kane. Kane, downs there. Project manages to pick it off though. No ice called.
Kane was under a lot of pressure there from the forecheck by Nelson. And luckily for the Boys, he managed to clear the puck out of the zone and get rid of that forechecking pressure.
Nelson. Regretzkys managed to pick it up. Big battle there. That was Howe for the Regretzkys with a battle with Fraser. Little shot there. Manages to get loose. Scores!
And we have a goal to the Regretzkys girls line. If you're not necessarily aware of it, we've got Danny Howe, Vicky Prosic and Kelly Nelson as a full female line for them. Doing very well indeed, scoring that goal and tying things all up at 2 goals apiece. I'm not exactly sure who finished it off. We'll get to see that, but it was a shot in by, I think, Kelly Nelson, by Danny Howe, who set that one up. And we are all tied up at 2 goals apiece.
Severin and Nave. Won by the Regretzkys. Comes down. Big skate there by Villa. It's going to be one instead by Silveris. He tries to find a chip pass, instead finds a Regretzky boot. There's someone there, doesn't manage to get it. He's got to be killing himself after that.
Yeah, Kudasov saw all his Christmases at once, but couldn't finish off. Sorry, that was John Nave who fired the cannon, but missed. Gets a second chance, another shot. This time it's on the net, but it's saved and deflected out, and the Boys will break it out.
Regretzky's managed to pick it up instead. Fraser really just trying to keep it in his zone, and he does. No offside called. Nave is there, instead rejected by Le Boys. Finds a Regretzky stick and the glove of Law.
The shot from a distance was high enough for Scotty Law to make a fairly simple save there. Now he's going to have to do a little bit of gear adjustment while he's sorting out his pads and so forth. But quite often those comes in at an awkward height on the goaltender, but on that occasion it was straight to Jamie Law's midriff, and he could just make a pretty routine catch. But now he's decided to take all his pads off, and we'll have a little bit of a pause in play while the referees try and work out what the rule is here with regards to goalies adjusting their equipment during play. Should they have a certain amount of grace or not? Looks like he's got a strap tangled up in the back of his pads. Anyway, we'll sort that one out very shortly. Once he puts his helmet back on, the game can resume. Obviously, it's a safety issue if a goalie's not wearing their gear. We don't want them getting hurt, even if it is Jamie Law. Yeah, we'll fix me up for that one later. An interesting little game so far, 2 goals apiece. Shots on the net, 13 to the Regretzkys to 7 to Les Boys, which does suggest that the Ices are definitely tilting in the direction of the Dark team.
And it's going to be Burville with Bone on that face-off. Blair manages to pick it up for the Regretzkys. Little shot behind the net. Picked up by Regretzkys, trying to chip it up, but it manages to be a bit funky.
And another save there made by Jamie Law, who's now got his gear all sorted out. But pressure starting to add up on the Les Boys. They had that early flurry and looked good right at the very start. But, the Regretzkys have managed to gain their composure and get the game happening.
Belleville won that one. Regretzkys still managed to keep it in their offensive end. Relentless pressure. Trying to find a player mid on the slot. Bone there. Lots of bodies. Amazing save there by Law. The boys pick it up. They're going to skate down the other end. 2-on-2. Picks the stick up there. Belleville. Shot. Glove save.
It was a good shot there indeed. Belleville had a good angle, cutting across through high slot and got a good shot away. But unfortunately for him, Jay Blair had the glove up and plucked the puck out of the sky. Don't try and say that too many times too quickly. And made the save and wielded the rubber, and it will all be tied up again. 2 goals apiece still with 11 goals and 11 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the second.
Severin and Nelson. Dodgy face off there. Regretzkys trying to chip it out of their defensive end this time. LeBoy's with the pressure. Manages to find a LeBoy though, but it is out of their offensive zone. That was Sivers. Tries to find Fraser, but doesn't. Fraser instead has a skate. He's got Severin there. Can he make a pass? Bit of a high stick there, no call. Nelson tries to wheel and deal it for the other end for the Regretzkys. Chips it off the board, it's a skate. Severin's there. Can they find something? Instead chooses the shot. Picks it up again. Tries to get it with a little Michigan almost. But doesn't get that. Kept in their offensive end by Foe. Lost boys. Managed to phone it over. Severin's there. Trying that a counter-attack. No dice. Picked up instead by a Regretzky player.
Plays the puck up the ice, finding Nelson again. It's that lovely combination of those two. And they've got Howe charging into the slot as well. The puck's loose. Howe couldn't quite get there.
It's going to be LeBoy's turning it over after that tremendous save by Law. They're turning around the other way. Severin's got a player in the slot. No. Regretzky's really trying to get their chances to a minimum. But manages to keep it in. Okay. It's going to be a real difficult battle there. LeBoy's manages to keep hold on it though. Finds a stick of Kane. Rare change for LeBoy's. There seems to be more of them now. As Kane for the Regretzkys. It's going to be Vilbar. No players home though. Can't find that pass. Instead chooses to go down the other end. LeBoy's. Keble. Battle down there. Goes behind the net. Dishes it off. Picked off by Regretzkys. They got Hurston there by Nave. No. Little shot there. Can't find anyone on that pass. Trying to get out of their defensive zone desperately, Isla boys. They managed to do so. It's going to be a skate for the puck though. Nick Sauce.
Back for yet another icing. Les boys just dumping the puck down the other end. Certainly the ice definitely tilting in the direction of the Regretzkys at the moment. 18 shots now on the net to just the 8 for Les boys, and this second period has really started to pour on a lot of pressure. Good combinations, and then they're getting a lot of loose players, but they've given away a few chances too. They are getting caught a little bit high defensively and letting a few chances go. I've just seen one happen right now.
Deville, Bone, that face off. Regretzkys managed to clear it out of their defensive zone though. Little chip shot to Horvat. Can they find that player of Kutsov? Oh, battle there. Law having to really battle with that one.
Horvat saw an open 5-hole, just couldn't quite get it underneath. Law getting a pad down just in time. There was 2 Regretzkys hovering in the slot, unmarked by the very tired defence there of Les Boys. Just couldn't get back there in time, so it was a good opportunity. Couldn't quite finish it off.
Regretzky starving for more goals. Victory's there. Instead, it's going to go behind the net. Picked up by Regretzky. Both of them behind the net. It's Kane and Kutsov. Horvath lurking behind the net. Can he find an option? Victory with a shot. A little bit too high. Again, Regretzky sticks. Picked up to Victory. Victory. Pass back to Kutsov. Tries to do a little one-timer there. Finds the stick of Horvath. Scores!
Horvath makes that one look a little bit too easy. Been a long period of time under defensive pressure, Lilla boys, and they'd allowed the defence for the Regretzkys to creep in quite a long way under not a lot of pressure and just keep sustained options happening in the end. They've abandoned the player loose in the slot, and you just can't afford to do that because they will make you pay. And we now have a 3-2 lead to the Regretzkys with 7.5 minutes to go in the second.
Severin and Nelson dropped. It's going to be a battle for the puck. Finds a skate, manages to find its way down to LeBoys. That's going to be McComb picking it up. Fraser finds an 82. Henry. Real battle there. Regretzkys managed to dislodge it, but instead Regretzkys pick it up as they drive it down the boards.
Prosic finds Nelson again. She's done that so many times.
Nelson, wheeling and dealing. There's Howe. Little shot. Gross.
Ellie Nelson gets her first one of the game, backing up after a good weekend of scoring some goals for the Ducks. She's got her first one on the board this evening to take the Regretzkys out to a 4-2 lead. You can see terrific combination work there from, in particular, Vicky Prosic. Every time she looks up the board, she's got Nelson streaking away, looking for that pass, just taking advantage of that momentum. They've done it 3 or 4 times so far throughout this game, and it's been very effective and finally rewarded with the goal.
Can the boys answer back? No ice call. Nelson. Oh, ice called, sorry.
And they'll be brought back for a face-off at the other end. We'll see how this one can go. The girls' line, if you like, of Howe and Prosic and Nelson got their first goal now on the board, but they've certainly created a lot of opportunities, taking advantage of some defensive lapses and some lovely streak play and stretch passes, getting through to Nelson in particular from Prosic. They're combining beautifully well.
And it's going to be a glove save there by Law, just stopping the play so their players can reset.
Law just fumbled that one briefly. It was available for a rebound, and trying to get in there quickly was Bone, but he couldn't quite get there in time.
Nave. Siverin, ready for the face-off. A little quick change there for the boys as they've dropped the puck. McComb. Big dump. Finds 21 for the boys. There's an unnamed player there. Little shot. Just not making the mark. It's a battle for it, though. Can the Regretzkys clear it? And a diving save there by Blair.
Blair forced to make that save after Syverson picked up a little bit of a mishandle. Puck bounced awkwardly over the top of a Regretzkys defender. And are they able to take advantage of it and get a quick breakaway? But luckily for Regretzkys, Blair made it safe.
Here we go. Waiting for the puck drop. And it does. Regretzkys pick it up. Little dump down the boards. Instead picked up by a board player. Oh, sticks in front. The boys pick it up. Can they chip it down the end? They do. Regretzkys wheeling, dealing down the other way. Big skate back there by 71. Cadier. No. Cabell picks it up for the boys. Finds Belleville. Instead actually dropped in. Belleville still with the puck. Vilbar just misses that poke. Here comes unnamed player for the boys. As we called for icing. Offside.
Unlucky there for Regretzkys. Another couple of good chances, but just not quite able to make the connections with the passes. Going cross ice to a player coming down the middle. In that particular case, I think it was Hurst, who just couldn't quite get onto it. He was only millimetres away from the end of his stick, but good options. Certainly creating a lot of time and space now, the Regretzkys, and the ice absolutely tilting in their direction.
Regretzkys, little chip up the ice. The boys just managed to swat it away. Instead, McComb's going to find it. Horvath, referee just getting in the way of Horvath. Instead, Regretzkys.
A little bit fortunate there was Caddy. He had Horvath right on top of him, but luckily the referee was playing an extra defensive role inadvertently.
Bone tries to find it, instead finds a stick of LeBoy. Bone coming down. Foes are right there though. Finds Horvath down the ice. Little cheap pass there. It's going to be 1-on-1. Here's a lovely opportunity. 3-on-2. Bone, Horvath tries to find something. Does! Might have been an own goal.
Bone that time was just in the right position inside. It was a 3-on-2 opportunity as they just a numerical advantage swamping the boys. Regretzkys doing it once more. And you can see Bone there gets the little rebound off the pads. Law not able to control it and then just finishes it off with a pretty easy goal, you'd have to say. I don't think Law would be particularly happy with how that panned out. It's just odd play rushes just keep happening now to the boys. And if they keep letting that happen, this score is going to run away. 5-2 now. Lead 3 to the Regretzkys with 3 minutes to go in the second.
Blair and Neville trying to make this barn burner happen. Nelson down to Horvath. Picked up by Regretzkys. Really trying to come back with speed now. Nelson tries to find a player, no one home. McComb tries to stop it. Just goes all the way around the ice. Blair just unable to control it and it comes out of their offensive zone. Regretzkys trying to find their ice again. The boys. That's Fraser just missing it. Instead picked up by Prosic. Prosic shot on. Glove saved by Law.
Fraser making a classic error there. It's a cross ice pass out of defence. Prosic was there to swoop on it straight away. You know how risky that play is. Fraser was under a bit of pressure by Nelson. but it's always a bad choice to make the pass across, and the Regretzkys were there to swoop on it, and Prosic just denied by a flashy glove save in the end.
Prosic, Nelson, Severin. Severin looking a bit puffed there. Will chip up the boards, instead saved by a Regretzkys player. Fraser, LeBoys, trying to take it up. Little shot there, tries to find the fine hole, doesn't.
Shot there from Fraser again. Just every now and then, the Regretzkys making a couple of little handling errors in defence, getting caught on the blue line. That was another one, which is creating those breakaway opportunities. You know, the breakaways are where the goals are. In this case, Fraser was well positioned to take advantage of it. Couldn't quite get it through. There was a gap, and it looked almost like it had got through Blair, but he managed to close things down just in time.
Severin Horvath. Little swat there from Regretzkys. Managed to find a player. Just going off the stick of Nave. Off the skate, I should say. Picked up by mystery player. Tries to find something. He's got Fraser there. Oh, just off the side. Little one-timer there from Stephenson. Not going to work. As he goes to Joe Chase it. Severin. Regretzkys pick it up. Skates it out of the offensive zone. Horvath is there to pick it up. Manages to do so along the boards. Hurst, I should say. The boys. Manages to take it off the Regretzkys. Mixios is there, eager to find another goal. It's going to be a battle up the boards though. Hurst is there to pick it up for Regretzkys. Instead it takes a weird bounce. And in LeBoy territory. The boys, can they capitalise something off here? They've got one-on-one. It's a great little swat there by Nave, though. Really just good battle. The boys desperate for something. Regretzkys, however, managed to pick it up and send it back the other way. Big skate here from McComb. No ice call.
Interesting enough there, no ice call on that one. With just 35 seconds to go in the second. It's going to run the clock down a little bit further as Blair will just take his time, get the puck, hang on to it for a few more seconds. They still have to get a change as Krakovic goes over to set up for the face-off. I tell you, not Krakovic's over on the other side. But with just 20 seconds now to play in the second.
It's puck drop. The boys are there. Little shot there. Bounces off a skate of a LeBoy player, it looked like. Regretzkys down. Big pass. Can they find something? It's going to be Nave. Spills over. Just misses the net. Bones there. It's going to be called before the puck enters.
And the whistle blows just before the goal was scored. Bone was just racing down there to pick up the big juicy rebound, but it looks like, not quite sure what the call is for on that one. It looks like we're getting a penalty on a hold, quite possibly on a La Boys player. Now, because that resulted in a goal, we'll probably get a penalty shot here, and I think that's what we're going to see. We'll find out in just a moment if that's indeed what happens. The referee's having a little bit of a discussion about it. It may have been a premature call on the whistle. Well, the referees have got to call what they see, and they're better positioned than we are. But certainly the Regretzkys players just having a bit of a conversation with the referees, trying to work out what the situation is, if we're going to get a penalty shot or not. The resumption of hostilities, or will it just be a penalty, or will it all just kind of disappear into the ether? We'll find out in another few seconds while we just wait for this to get sorted out. There's a good opportunity there in the last dying seconds of the period. You can see how quickly you can get away on a defensive zone face-off if the defensive structure of the attacking team breaks down, and that's exactly what the Regretzkys did, and with just those fractions of a second, a very enterprising little break. Game should have restarted by now. Normally we get a 1 minute break between periods, but that little bit of discussion about what occurred in the net front is resulting in a little bit of a delay, but will be sorted out very shortly. And we will have 16 more minutes of hockey. The clock has started, so the guys are wasting their own money not playing, but that's okay. It's up to them if they want. But all the same, 5 goals to 2 now. They lead 26 shots for the Regretzkys to just 11 for La Boys. La Boys started out strong, but then are paying the price for a few defensive errors and just letting the Regretzkys create quite a large number of breakaways. And in particular, we've seen a magnificent combination of the girls' line with Vicky Prosic, Kelly Nelson, and Danny Howe. They've been particularly effective. We are starting off on a penalty, and it's Luke Kane sitting 2 for a hold. So the Regretzkys will be starting third on the power play.
Belleville, Bone, taking the face-off, won by Regretzkys. Passes it down to the blue line. Picked up there by Blair. Kudasov managed a good skate there. Can he get the puck out? Tries. Good battle there. The boys managed to pick it out though. Bounce pass. Belleville just can't make anything of it. Here we go. The boys coming down the other end. Finds a stick of bone instead. Regretzkys full steam ahead in this power play.
That was Fraser there, had a chance to try and get clear on a shorty. Perhaps he forgot it was going to kill.
Good stop. The boys. Big smack. Manages to get it out the other end. Little chip shot by Belleville. Can they do anything with it? Little shot on the little short-handed power play. Doesn't manage to do it though. Oh, body in the way. Big collision down in front of the goalie's eyes. Kudasov coming through. Finds victory stick. The boys.
Cohallen are very slow to get back to his feet, but he's going to be doing a penalty for a trip. So for a brief period of time, we're going to have a 5-on-3. Kane will be in the box. Now, if Cohallen takes his time getting across for the change, he probably will. He looks a little bit the worse for wear after that collision. The longer he can spend taking his time getting over to the change, the less time that the boys will have as in the 5-on-3. 5-on-3, very, very difficult to defend against. They'll set up a triangle in front of their defensive zone, in front of their net, and just try and keep the puck out of there. Unlikely to see anything particularly aggressive from them at this point. Although that said, they don't need a goal, so maybe they will throw caution to the wind.
Severin Nelson waiting for the puck drop. Does. Gretzkys pick it up on this 5-on-3 power play. Foe with a shot. Body in front. The boys, can they make something of a short-handed goal here? They've got one player there.
Prosic with good pressure. Just 18 seconds to go on the 5-on-3 advantage.
Regretzkys pick it up. Nelson skates down the ice. Plenty of bodies there. Finds the right option. Winding up. They've got a body in front. Instead takes it around the net. Power play's about to end. As Foe takes it. Regretzkys. Can they do it? Mixios. Little shot. Body's in the way. Just goes a bit high on the blocker.
And came back on the ice now. It's still 5-on-4, so still a power play for the Regretzkys. Cohan have got another 1 minute and 18 seconds to serve.
And Law, glove save.
If you are a La Boys player at the moment, you are trying to slow the game down as much as possible because we're not stop time. So if they can run down this time and take another 15-20 seconds off the penalty, that will certainly relieve a little bit of the pressure on them. So far, the Regretzkys had a couple of chances, but nothing particularly good, especially at 5-on-3. They didn't manage to get a shot away.
The boys, Law, managed to have to drop there. There comes Kane after a serve in the pen bin. Picked up by a Regretzky player. Here comes Vilbar. Full wheel ahead. Hurst is there. No offside called as Victory, Hurst, and Vilbar are there for the Regretzkys. Trying to find a player there. Regretzkys chip it off. Picked up by Vilbar. Neighbours there. Picks it up. Shot. Does! Vilbar with the score.
And Regretzky score finally on the power play with just 18 seconds to play on the Cohallen penalty. The Regretzkys now take it out to a 6-2 lead. 30 shots after sustained pressure from a double penalty, so to speak. So for a brief period of time, they had 5-on-3, but eventually they score on the 5-on-4. 6-2 the lead with 11 minutes and 44 seconds to play.
Belleville Kane. Shipped off Mixios. Down to another Regretzky player. Belleville trying to step the stick. Kelbell. Can the boys answer back? Fraser tries to wheel and deal. Just can't. Kane. Bone, sorry. Picks up to McComb. Fraser. Nothing happens. Here come the boys. 2-on-2. Best chance they've had in a while. Glove saved by Blair.
Shot fired from a distance there by Belleville. We didn't have a lot on it. Pretty routine catch there for Blair to pluck that one out of the sky. He did have Fraser charging in with him as well. So if there was a rebound, Fraser was well positioned to take advantage of it, but no chance that time.
Belleville in the red. Looks like Bone in the black and blue. And here comes Fraser. Tries it. Horvat's there though. Regretless boys desperate to keep in their offensive end. It's just not going to happen. They've got two players down there. Kutsov. Can they get past one? Davis past McComb. Just a goal there? No. Just an extra pass.
Kutsov just a little bit too fancy. He fanned on a pass and actually managed to confuse the D, which created a great opportunity. And then unfortunately for him, he also fanned on the shot.
McComb trying to go ice to ice. End to end, I should say, as they come here. Bone. Down the end. Finds there. Goalie stick save. Kane. Finds Nelson though. Regretzky's desperate for another goal. They're so hungry. Severin passes down the ice. Get to an unknown player. There's Belleville. Gretzky still pick it up though. Here's Sosik. Prosic. Shot. Just blocked there by Belleville. As they're going to take it behind the net. But there is a Regretzkys player there who manages to dismantle that.
Nelson's up high and loose. They get a shot to get the pass up to a beautiful pass there by Danny Howe.
As the boys trying to get it out of their defensive end. They're desperate for an answer. Here there comes McComb though. Can he do something here? This is his second run up the ice. Comes down though. Passes it to mystery player. Shot. Just screams past the goal. Making Blair fumble a little bit. Here come Regretzkys. Nelson's got a bit of speed to her. No one else is there though. Little one-on-one action, wheel and deal. Glove saved. That was so close there by Law.
Nelson isolated. Her line was getting a change while she was on the burst, so it explains why she was stuck down there on her own. Ended up doing the right thing, just getting a shot. The Regretzkys, they don't need to score. They've got a 4-goal lead with 9 minutes to play.
Law, another great glove save. Tries to reel it in with this stick, doesn't manage to do so. Law boys, they're looking energized now. They've found blood in the water. Tries to find a pass. 3-on-2. Not going to happen. Just too many bodies in the way from the Regretzkys. But it's a bit of a scuffle, though, as Nave manages to get it out of the way for the Regretzkys. They get it out of their defensive end. Here's Hurst. It's going to be picked up by Icing.
Hurst was calling there for a pretty risky cross-ice pass. But they got away with it, but also couldn't quite get a handle on it as well. But it's always risky when you take that pass out of the defensive zone over to the far corner. They got away with it on that particular occasion, but again, a little bit fortunate. If the boys have someone floating around the middle of the offensive zone, then often pick off those cross-ice passes and turn them into scoring opportunities. Not that time, but it's a risky play.
Sivrin Nave, waiting for the puck drop. Does so. Picked up by Conyer. Frazier for the boys. Trying to find that. There's Sivrin in just blocking the view of the goalie for Regretzkys. The boys. Longest they've had in the offensive zone for a while. Regretzkys managed to pick it up though. Little chip off the block there by the boys. Battle managed to keep it in. No icing called. Offside, sorry. Sivrin there on the corner. Nixios calling for a watch on that screen. Here comes Hurst coming down the other end. 2-on-1. Hurst wheeling and dealing. Can't find anyone there. There's no one home. Nave finally manages to catch up. Picks up the puck. Shot. Caught by Law.
Just Regretzkys there doing the right thing with getting changes. The things you always want to remember is the change is usually more important than the rush, and the Regretzkys getting a change. As a result, you do get a bit isolated on attack. Quite often what you'll see a forward do in that situation is do a dump, the puck all the way down the other end and then get a quick change, but sometimes they elect to carry it in as well, and that's twice what the Regretzkys have done so far through this game, not unsuccessfully.
Bone wins it for the boys. Here it comes. Regretzkys pick it up, however. Blair trying to find an option. Does so in victory.
Aggressive forecheck there on Blair. He had 2 on either side. He was a little bit lucky to get away with the clearance.
Here come the boys now. Henry, lovely pass to Belleville. He's got mystery player there. Can they make it something? Crossbar's path. Lovely rejection there by Bone. And it's going to be difficult to find a little something, a burst of energy here for the boys. They've got a player down there. No icing call, offside call. Victory, no. Horvath, I should say. And skates it around. Little stick check there by Law.
We have a hand up for another penalty, and it's going to be a trip. And it looks like it's the Le Boys again will be on the penalty kill. So the Regretzkys don't need the power play for sure, but it's nice for them to have it. As being escorted over to the box there is Johan Henry, and he'll be sitting 2 for a trip. And as a result, the Regretzkys go to their 4th power play of the game. This time it's just 5-on-4.
Here we go now. Continuing in the 3rd period. The boys are desperate for an answer here from this relentless Regretzky onslaught. Regretzkys finds Mixios. Fast shot. Making Law work for a little bit. Regretzkys. Shot off again. Mixios finds Nelson. Mixios is there though. Goes up the ice, trying to find a little pass option. Does so. Regretzky circling around the boys. Nelson with a shot. Low to the glove. Picked up again by the Regretzkys. Great rebounding here. Going. Shot. Making Law duck. Shoved all the way down the other end. It's going to be a race for it. Mixios calls icing. Doesn't get called though.
It's on a penalty kill, no icing on that one. But the Regretzkys now with a chance to reload. Nelson's been out for a while. They'll be looking to get a change. They've now been out on the penalty on the power play for a minute. They're still staying out though, that combination. They do get a defensive change though, the Regretzkys.
McCone picks up the cane and said dismantled by the Regretzkys. Too many players already in there on this power play.
Now there with just a bit of a wishy-washy pass. Was trying to get it across to Prosic, but he didn't have much on it. As now they get the change they've been waiting for.
Victory for Regretzkys. Trying to find something. Does a little wheel and deal, but instead picked up by McCone. Le Boys defender. Belleville up the boards. Comes down to Kelville. Blair picks up the puck. Goes around it. Here comes Victory though. Trying to find an option. Gets around one. Cartier having to race for it. Neighbours right up there.
And that will be an icing. Just playing the puck on the wrong side of the red line there. The Regretzkys just late losing that opportunity. That will rub out the Henry penalty. At the drop of the puck, Les Boys will be back to full strength. It won't be behind the play, but the Regretzkys all the same will be keeping an eye on that resumption of 5-on-5 hockey, which will happen on the drop of the puck with just under 4 minutes to play in the third and final.
Belleville and Nave for this puck drop. Nave in the black and blue. Belleville in that maroonish. Here come Regretzkys. Mixios picking up for them. Passes down the boards. Regretzkys picks up the boys. Managed to this Belleville with a little quick shot, making sure Blair's awake. And they get it out of their offensive zone. Hurst on the forecheck there. Vilbar down to Foe. Foe picks it up for Regretzkys. Tries a little dish pass. Instead picked up by Belleville for the boys. Could have been a dangerous option. Manages to be so. Can they get a shot off here? Belleville. Vilbar, really good job just to keep that pressure on Belleville. Belleville having a tumble down the ice.
No penalty of the call there. It was a close call on the contact. But Hurst now breaks it away for the Regretzkys as his D-line going to get changes.
Hurst trying to find Bilvar. Instead finds Bone. Little shot. Body in the way by Cartier. Very good body in the way. Finds Foe. Manages to get by them though. Here comes Belleville. Big skate there by Henry. It's going to be called ice, however.
He couldn't quite get down there quickly enough. The reason why he was skating in a hurry, if you do win the race to where the puck's going to be, you can wipe off the icing. But with just 2.5 minutes to go, that was going to be a big ask for that team that did certainly start off short. 2 lines now for them. Plus it looks like they might even have a spare. So the early start for the game after knock-off time from work, not good for the Boys.
Right. Wins it for the Regretzkys. Little dish pass there right in front of it. Horvath just can't do anything with it. Law, really good save. Manages to get it.
Now we're going to have another penalty. This time it's going to be on the Regretzkys, on the lab boys again by the look of it. Looks like, are we getting a penalty there? It looked like it might have been. No, they're actually, the referee was calling them across for having not enough players on the ice. Now they don't have to put 5 on if they don't want to, but it's generally a good idea.
Regretzkys trying to dismantle the confused Boys defense. Off the helmet there by Law. Really high shot. Making the shooter fall over a little bit even. Here come the boys. Trying to find a little last minute action. Severson just slowing down so it doesn't get called offside. Really nice dig there by Blair. And it's going to be Law there just to keep it up.
It's another one of those lovely combination passes. Nelson not quite able to get a clean stick on it.
Here come the boys. Nelson there trying to do a nice little forecheck. Instead picked up by Brosick. Fraser right on her tail though. Nelson. Down to a Regretzky player. So many Regretzky sticks down near the slot. Can they find something? Instead picked up by Fraser who takes it down the net. The boys hot on their heels. Trying to find a bit of last minute action. 1 minute remaining. Just off to mystery player. Nelson manages to dismantle this offense though. She's done so well. Down to Howe. Howe. Can they find Prosic, who's skating down the ice? No icing called. Shot on. Lovely little pad save there by Law. Maybe just wide. Regretzkys. The boys trying to just find something. Sivson. Down to mystery player. Howe. Needs to skate here. Instead picked up by McCone. Slap shot.
There's 15 seconds to go in the game.
Mystery player. Down to Regretzkys. Can they do something in these last 10 seconds? Nelson. Shot. A little over the stop there. And McCurran just cruising to it.
And that's going to do it with the final shot getting through. It was a nice piece of play there by Nelson. Realised that it wasn't much game time, so may as well just fling a speculator down on the net and see if anything could go in. It's pretty unusual to score from the red line, but it does occasionally happen. At the end of the game, Regretzkys with 6 goals.